Okay.
يا هلا فيكم. ويلكم تو بودكاست كريبتو كمال. اهلا فيكم يا جماعه الخير. اليوم سيدي بندش وياكم في الموضوع. عندنا ضيف عزيز استاذ راح يكلمنا وايد عن الNFTs والبلوك تشين، وبنتكلم عن السكامز، الاشياء اللي يصير في الكريبتو، وايد اشياء بتشعب فيها. معنا اليوم الاستاذ احمد الانصاري، براند دايركتور، author of a book The Brand Dependence. كل شيء راح نحط لكم اللينك تحت في البايو، حتى اللينكدين ماله والويب سايت. ميديا ماركتينج كونسلتنت and IT بعد كونسلتنت وريسيرشر، وبعد هو راح يقول لكم اشياء اكثر عن نفسه. بس احنا بنسال وايد اسئله لكم واللي تمرون فيه ان شاء الله احنا وياكم. بس دائما احنا نقول ونذكر ان ما في شيء نقوله فاينانشال ادفايس. انت اعمل دراستك، واذا عندكم اي شيء يا جماعه ساعدونا في الكومنتس وفي اللايكات وفي الفولو. اهلا بك الاستاذ احمد، شو اخبارك؟
اهلا اخوي كمال.
ان شاء الله طيب. شو اخبارك؟ ان شاء الله تمام. شكرا على الكتاب. طبعا احنا استلمنا هذه الكتاب شويه، انا قريت منه صراحه وانبهرت من الديتيلز والمعلومات اللي فيه. ايش رايك تخبرنا اول شيء عن نفسك كذي بشكل بسيط، وشوي عن البوك بعد بشكل سريع كذا.
Yeah, sure. Can I say that in English? Or?
اكيد both English Arabic حتى هندي ساعات.
Okay, yeah, perfect. No worries.
تفضل.
And then, okay, so first, I think you introduced me very well. I'm an author, researcher, marketing and media and IT consultant. I have a solid understanding in blockchain. I have a solid understanding in holography, immersive environments, as well as risk management. I do like consultation for startups. I do brand establishment, and I do even some consultation within the Web3 space. So that's a nutshell about me. And regarding the book, actually this book was an outcome of 2 years of hard work between me and another coder, Ahmed Al Ansari. You guys of course know him from FaceKey and Picasso House. And the entire idea started by, I was researching on behavioral economics, and I was just reading about, actually that was in 2017 I guess. I was reading about how our brain are limited to different type of cognitive biases and heuristics. And the actual research was about why most of the startups fails. And then I was reading an article about how habits contribute to 50% of this phenomena, which most of the other researchers or other papers doesn't include that in their criteria. So I was really interested, and I dived much deeper within the concept, which I just realized that our brain has, our memory has three stages. One of them is the sensory memory, the other one is the short-term memory, and then you go to the long-term memory. Within the sensory memory, okay, we have a lot of different things around us, okay, that happens, but we only can give attention to one of them. Or even like maximum 2 if you are you have superpowers, you know. So literally there are many things right now happening around me, but I can only give attention to you because I'm talking to you and I have to respond to your questions, right? So, but maybe we have like the photographer, we have the, everything happening around me, the lights and everything, and I'm not giving attention to it. So we overlook so many elements around us. Okay, and the overlooked things, I just took it into a brand context, and I just asked myself, do we overlook things in our startups, in our brands, in our businesses? And there are variables that we overlook that might be important, but we are overlooking it unconsciously. So
you mean that sometimes the slightest things might have
that we don't even give attention to. Something we don't give attention to. Sometimes we don't think they are important, and suddenly those kind of simple things destroy our brand or destroy our business or even destroy our goal. Because at the end, the model I introduce in the book can be used even in the individual context. So the entire book said, actually the book starts with an introductory about how habit works, the limitation of our brand, and it goes to the behavioral economics, explaining what are our biases and different type of heuristics that we have and how we can deal with those things, not deal with those things, how we can like manage those things at the end. And then I'm introducing different type of examples of how different type of brands have overlooked different dependency levels, different dependency variables in their entire, in their context of let's say whether they are startups or enterprises, okay, that exist, and how those dependency, because they are depending on certain variables that they are not even aware of, or they are not aware of the tendency of severeness of those variables that they are depending on. So one of the examples I usually use is the case that happened between Epic Games and Apple Store. And I think you know what happened to Fortnite and Epic's game, and you know, and how App Store just removed Fortnite from their App Store, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So what happened here is like, the question is, how much dependent
the game on
the Epic Games,
okay,
which like Fortnite, okay, that project was dependent on App Store. They literally lost 16 million members. Like there were 16 million gamers using the game through App Store, and they lost them. So did they even had that information in mind? Did they knew that they are depending on Apple Store that much? And this is the point of the model itself, to aware people. First, the model starts by pinpointing different variables that we might, what we are depending on, or we might be depending on. And after that, there is a simple risk assessment framework that will assist you to classify the tendency of the risk involved on your brand for each variable, and then that outcome will lead you to different colors. Let's say, for example, green, yellow, and red, which red is the most severe variable that affects your brand, and then you prepare contingency plans for those blocks, which I call them blocks. So
a lot of information regarding branding, psychology.
Exactly. It started actually with branding, but then at the last part, I just showed how you can use the same model for goals, like individual goals. Like let's say you have individual goals and you want to figure out what you are depending on, and then you will find out which are more severe, and then you will like settle. Actually, when we tried this on some case studies that we had, and every time we were trying it, people used to come up with things that they never even thought about them.
Of course.
So it was like, it was a very mind-blowing, simple model that will help you pinpoint whatever you are overlooking and whatever you are depending on, and then you prepare contingency plans for them. So whenever you face them, at least you have an alternative option to solution.
That's so amazing. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your story, and how did you came to the NFT world and to the blockchain and to crypto and so on?
Okay, so this is a bit of funny story, because I knew that Bitcoin exists since 2016, but there was this thing about halal and haram, you know, which I just figured out that some people give some sort of decisions on some stuff where they don't know exactly what it is, you know. So in 2018, my friend was insisting, one of my friends, he's called Atiba, and he was insisting that I have to research about it and see what it is and how it works. And then because of my RT background, I'm so interested in technologies, and then I would just, I went there and I dived deep into what it is, what Bitcoin is, and then why people say it's scam and why people are complaining about it and all of that. And then I just realized that it's a complete nonsense what people are saying, and we are talking about a massive technology that provides a massive value. And from there, I started investing a very little amount in Bitcoin, and then I got a little bit profit, and I just split it into Ethereum. Then I bought some NFTs in 2019, which made me a little bit profit as well. And then I expanded into different DeFi applications, gaming. I'm mostly into gaming and DeFi, and infrastructure like oracles and all things. We can explain those things whenever we are discussing.
Fantastic. Let's go through the NFTs now. As you might know, within the end of 2021, if you ask anybody in our region, I'm talking about, not the region outside. If you ask anybody about NFT, the first thing they will tell you it's a scam. It's just a JPEG. It's just pictures. We are not getting anything. And the communities are full of scammers and so on. So how we tackle this issue right now?
Okay, I think that's a very nice question. So before answering this question, okay, there is something that we should realize. Okay, it's like if I ask you right now what the internet is used for, okay, people, like average people, I'm not talking about people who are technical or they're using the internet for massive things, what they're gonna tell you? They're gonna tell you that it's been used for social media. Because most of the people are using it for texting, social media, or maybe Google researching some stuff. Okay, so this is what, but the question is the internet only social media and search? Internet has been used for everything, for God's sake, right? Okay, so the same perspective goes on with disruptive technology. It's a disruptive technology. It's new, okay? So people doesn't know what it is, okay? And the easy way is fall under something we call the availability heuristic bias, which is like a bias that we have in our brain. It's a systematic error that we have in our brain that we believe in things that is available in our memory.
Okay.
So it makes sense, right? Like if the information doesn't exist in our memory, we're not going to believe in it, right?
Okay.
Where are you going to bring the information from?
Okay.
So it's a systematic error. Like it's a bias that we have. Okay. So I'm not going to blame them because as soon as you Google everything, you're going to see those monkey pictures and those, you know what I mean, right? So and then suddenly, okay, everyone talked about art, and let's be frank, artists have been using this to monetize. And they are doing it very well, by the way. Like they are getting millions of dollars per project only by monetizing this, and it's like a heaven for them. Like before, no one gave them a little much opportunity, but now they have an opportunity which is like completely open, and they can, lavish that opportunity. So that's why actually people think that it's only about art, and it doesn't make sense for them. But we're gonna go now dive deeper about what NFTs are, okay, and what you can do with them, okay, and what different types.
Please tell me if we want to explain to a basic person, let's say, what is NFT?
Oh, okay, at the beginning. Okay, so perfect. So NFT refers to non-fungible token.
Yes.
So we know that.
It's
okay. So if we understand the difference between fungible and non-fungible, okay, that's gonna clear everything up. Okay. So whenever we say a fungible token, it means that a token that has similar characteristics and similar set of values. So I'm gonna explain that. So let's say, for example, you have 1 dinar and I have 1 dinar. Okay. So what does that mean? Both of them are the same. If I give you my 1 dinar and you give me 1 dinar, they both have the same characteristics and they both have the same value. They're not going to change, right? Okay. At the other side, the non-fungible token is most of the things around us. Everything around us is non-fungible, okay? And why they're non-fungible? Because they are unique. They are immutable, okay? And they cannot be altered. For example, if I talk about this laptop, okay, this laptop can be referred as fungible because there are so many of them as well, okay? But in the context of this table, okay, we have bottled waters, we have health, we have phones, okay, and all of them have different characteristics, okay, and different value. For example, you can give me this phone and tell me, okay, I'm going to sell you this phone for $1,000, for example, okay? Then you can sell the same phone to other person for $400 after depreciation and, like, let's say, value changes, right? But if I give you $1, it will always worth $1.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
Yes.
So Bitcoin is fungible as well. 1 Bitcoin is always 1 Bitcoin. Okay? It's not non-fungible. It's not unique. It's not inventable. Okay? When we say non-fungible token, we are talking about things that are unique in characteristics and they can have their unique value. So here we are talking about, let's say, okay, one of the easiest example is like Pokemon cards that we used to have before, or Yu-Gi-Oh cards, you know, or let's say Mona Lisa painting or anything. Those are, all of them are non-fungible. I can add and sell it with a certain value, and that value I can change it anytime I like. It's completely unique. There is nothing like it, okay? And it's always immutable. And this is what the non-fungible token means, okay? But at the context of a blockchain, okay, the non-fungible tokens hold a massive value. And this is what we're gonna be explaining right now. So if people who are watching can understand what is the technology behind non-fungible tokens, and why it is it's different from what they, you know, witness, you know, thus far, and they call it scam or whatever. Okay, so when we say NFTs, okay, NFTs are unique tokens on the blockchain that can contain any type of digital assets. What type of assets we're talking about? Of course, it can be a painting, like everyone knows about. It can be a book. It can be a digital asset. It can be like a avatar or character or weapon from a game. Okay, or even a progress. Okay, it can be anything you can imagine. Any digital asset.
Any digital assets?
It can be preserved.
Unique. It will be like an.
It can be in the NFT. The NFT can be presented. Okay. So those digital assets, okay, whenever they are presented under the NFT, okay, and let's be clear about these things, okay, we can even tokenize real-world assets by representing them as NFTs. And this is a very important concept that most of the people are not aware of. For example, let's say you have a real estate, a hotel, or for example, or a house. You can literally tokenize that house with an NFT. Okay, and that's going to be in a smart contract. And then if you sell that NFT, you sold that house. If you rent that NFT, you rented that house. Whoever holds that NFT in that wallet, they have that leverage of the contract. So it's like, rather than having a middleman, rather than having a trust between different entities, you are literally dealing to one-to-one, a peer-to-peer, you know, connection.
But I'm sure in the meantime, people, if you tell them to put a house in NFT, they might not going to like the idea.
Of course, of course, because first of all, the space it's junior stage.
Yes, they want a government in between, if you have lands or
exactly. You know, let us go step by step here, just to figure out how the innovation curve works. Okay.
How?
So we have an innovation curve. Okay, innovation comes into the market. Okay, and then we have innovators who adopt the innovation and accept the risk. Okay, and those are the limited, like around 16% of the entire population. Okay, so those people are willing to take the risk and are willing to adopt and risk on it, adopt it, use it, invest in it, or all of those type of innovators. Then it comes the early adopters. So there is another segment of people who have seen the innovators are doing well, and they are interested in seeing, what's going on and all of that. We, in the entire crypto space, we are still in the early adopter stage. We haven't crossed something called the chasm. The chasm is the stage between early adopters and early majority. So early majority are the highest, one of the highest. So we are still early adopters. In the NFT space, we are even much more early than even the entire crypto space. Like if I told you the amount of wallets that are dealing with NFTs on a daily basis, there are only around 10,000 wallets on the Ethereum blockchain.
There's so few.
It's nothing. It's kind of like, it's literally nothing. Like you're talking about 2 schools or 3 schools are using things. But in a disruptive technology, early adopters get the most opportunity. Like for example, if you are a developer, if you are an investor, if you are a user, you can always get and lavish the maximum amount of opportunity within that stage. Why? Because everyone is calling it scam. Everyone is calling it it's not going to work. Everyone is calling it slow, okay? And they don't really see the history that the internet in 1992 was announced as scam. They didn't imagine that. The same thing goes with the Web3 space. The Web3 space are collective technologies, okay? I call it a massive sandbox. People are experimenting, people are innovating, people are coming with new technologies, new solutions. And if you dive in, you will see the amount of technologies that have been developed, even when some of the governments around the world or some of the institution or even some people are calling it a scam or trying to break it down or whatever, like still the progress within the space is huge. Like if only the NFTs, as we are talking about NFTs right now, if you just know what's going on with the NFT space, okay, like the different standards of the NFTs and what type of NFTs exist and what you can do with them, it's mind-blowing. There are big brands on board now.
Could you tell us about the types of NFTs? Or
Sure. So, like, first of all, let me just briefly explain the standards as much so people understand what we're referring to. So the main two standards of NFTs, these ERC 721 and ERC 1155. Okay. So, the ERC 721 is a type of NFT that you can tokenize a single digital asset.
Okay. A single digital asset.
A single digital asset. Yeah. Whether it's a book or it's a code or it's a game asset or anything, like any digital asset, you can store one digital asset within that ERC 721.
So you mean it's only on the Ethereum network?
There are compatible, because I don't want to go too technical on this, but still we have something called the EVM chains.
Protocols on the same...
the same standard,
Yes.
So network, they have an identical...
Solana,
Solana is different a little bit, because Solana is not an EVM compatible chain. So EVM compatible chains, they can do it easily. Solana has a standard which is identical to ERC 721.
Yes,
All right,
okay. So let's move on for the ERC 721.
So we understand now that you can store one digital asset. Actually, you cannot store you don't store the digital asset. It's like a certification of ownership of that digital asset. And we're going to explain that if you have time.
So you mean that a certificate of ownership in the blockchain of Ethereum?
Of course, every NFTs, like actually if you have an ERC 721, let's say, NFTs, you can literally bridge it into any EVM chain.
Into any
you know about the bridges,
how
it works.
Okay, very good. So
but of course, like there are it's called ERC as a standard, because if you adopt that standard, it's like an API, right? If you adopt that standard, then people like others can communicate with each other. So it's a standard, right? So all of the people who are using the same standard, they can communicate with each other. So that's why it's a standard, right? And with ERC 721, as we said, you can only store one, and it's a one digital asset, and it's a certification of ownership of that asset. That asset is stored somewhere else, whether it's an IPFS or in an Arweave or in a coin file or any other decentralized storage system. It's stored there, and this asset is representing it. Okay? And of course, you can store some assets on chain, but that's another thing, another complete concept. So another standard is the 1155.
1155, ERC 1155.
Which is developed by Engine. I think you know.
Engine, yes.
Engine. So it used to be one of the biggest gaming project until 2020. It was one of the biggest. So those guys did an amazing job, because
they have their own token, I think.
Of course, they have their own token, they have their own project, they have their own platform. They have even Japan have agreed to use their entire system. So they are big. They used to be big now, but they are. And this is what I wanted to talk about later as well. It's like there's an evolution in technology, and because the technology is very young, whenever you introduce one technology another technology going to come and suppress that technology.
Of course.
And that technology dies. You know what I mean, right?
It happens.
So, yeah. So, this technology is still good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying like there are other technologies.
So many technologies. Okay.
So, the 1155 can store multiple tokens, okay, within the same NFT, okay? And what does that do? And it's not only storing, and this is the advantage of 1155, it can store a combination of non-fungible and fungible token. For example, let's say now you are in a game like Clash of Clans, okay? And in Clash of Clans you have coins, which are fungible, and then you have digital assets. Let's say, for example, the character, the avatar, the weapons, you know what I mean,
clothes,
progress and all that, okay?
Skins, I don't know.
Those type of NFTs can literally store all of those together in one NFT. So rather than having, because it's more
multiple
like
NFTs, you would have them in one.
So it's more like let's say it's a superior version of the 721.
Of the
721. Okay, and the thing is, the funny thing is, like, there are NFTs, the NFT type, which are even more superior than 1155, which called smart NFTs.
Smart NFTs,
Yeah, and those smart NFTs were developed, I think, with a project called Phantasma. Phantasma, they have their own chain. And I think it's compatible, it's an EVM compatible, I think, I'm not sure, with Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain. And they have their own tokens, so, and that actually, this is really revolutionary, because let's say you are in a game, and you have, for example, let's say an RPG game, game, you have to upgrade your character and your weapons and all that, right? So you have your character, and you played with your character for 3 months. Now your character is level 20, right? So your character is level 20 now. In normal NFTs, whenever you sell it, you're gonna sell the original character. But now with the smart NFTs, those NFTs are in different layers, and every layer adds more information.
Different layers.
Different layers. So you will have the old information. You will have the main character and the base character and what happened to it until the stage where it reached level 20. Now you don't want that character anymore. You withdraw it and you go to a secondary market and sell it to someone else. Of course, you can sell that level 20 character much more expensive, much be much more pricey, right? Than the level 0.
Upgrade level.
So you upgraded your character, you have spent effort and time, and it's really mind-blowing of thinking that every asset within your game can be an NFT, and you own them. Now the developer doesn't own them anymore. You own them. You can take them out. You can sell them in the secondary marketplace. This is completely revolutionary. This is completely something that didn't exist before. And you can really do it right now. Literally, there are so many games on the blockchain that they provide you with all of those digital assets, which you can do it. But here, when we talk about tokenization, it's not only for games. You can literally take the digital assets from your game, withdraw it in your wallet and sell it outside on a secondary market, whether it's OpenSea or LooksRare or all of the secondary market exists. So this is completely revolutionary. It doesn't exist before, and we are in a stage that many type of applications can be built on top of that smart NFTs. For example, smart NFTs has another characteristics, which is the time limit. So what do I mean by time limit? Like, for example, you can create NFTs, for a period of 6 days, and whenever people use that NFT in that period, it burned. So you cannot use it anymore. So let's say what kind of applications you can use it, like hundreds of applications. You can use it in hotels, in packages, in events, in everything, in concerts, whatever you can think about, you will have those type of digital assets that you can provide, and when people use coupons and everything, So anything can be turned now into smart NFT, and those NFTs are not actually permanent like the other NFTs. You can literally use them for a certain period of time and they burn. So it's like I'm going to give you an opportunity, like let's say I'm BMW.
Okay.
I'm going to give an opportunity to join one of our community events. Okay, and I will drop this thing for all BMW holders, and they can only use it for 6 days. If they didn't use it for 6 days, it's gone. Okay, because the event is not there anymore. Okay, so let's say I have a BMW, you have a BMW. Okay, and you want to go with your brother, but I don't want to go.
Okay.
So what happens? You can buy it from me,
Okay.
or I can send it to you for free. Okay? So I will send it to you in your wallet, and as long as it's in your wallet, you can attend. It's as easy as that. This is what NFT can do. NFT can work in identification. It can work in real estate, as we've spoken about, which, as you said, it's not there yet. There should be government approval, blah, blah, and all of that. But still.
Sometimes I was just looking at the dark side of what you said, because some companies or some governments, they might do the CBDC, and they have the salaries of people might have an expiry date. If they don't use their salary, it might be burned within the end of the month. Just
I don't know, like okay, yeah.
Yes,
so
sometimes it have
So every technology exists in this world.
Yeah,
has a two sides.
positive side.
Yeah. So, and this is why we shouldn't blame the technology.
Okay.
We should blame ethic.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
If you have ethic, well, you're going to use it perfectly, and if you're not, because otherwise, you're going to blame all of the technologies. You know what's going on with the internet, right? So it's a technology. So do you want to blame the internet now? You cannot blame the internet. AI, the same thing. Of course, AI has a massive dark side, but still, it has a good side as well. So again, it's a matter of individual behaviors or institution behaviors. Okay, and how they're going to deal with that technology, how they're going to use it, and how they're going to implement it in their day-to-day activities.
So the question, Ahmed, why do we see some of monkey pictures that cost like $1 million or within that range? What are their actual values? Are they just pictures or community, like they say?
Okay.
What's the real value behind these JPEGs?
Yeah. Okay. So. One of the things that blockchain exposed very clearly, and it's a part of the book I wrote as well, okay, it's how people are illogical in their decisions and behavior. And I think the crypto space, because most of the people are anonymous, right?
Okay, yes.
Okay,
yes.
So they are literally completely willing to do whatever they want to do. Yeah. So you're getting my point, right? So it shows up, actually, it's not a bad thing. As I said, it's a huge sandbox. It's a massive sandbox, full of experiment, full of innovation, okay, and full of studies, by the way, okay. Like you can extract a lot of data from it, and you will find out that people are willing to pay tons of amount of money, okay, to buy those type of, let's say, JPEG NFTs, okay, which let's say, okay, there are few famous ones like Azuki or, BPETs or, you know them of course, and BAYC and all of those, okay. The thing that people from outside the space doesn't understand, okay, is that those brands, like let's say, as you said, BAYC, let's take BAYC as an example, okay, is backed up by Yuga Lab, okay. And Yuga Lab, okay, owns CryptoPunk and BAYC.
Yes.
Okay.
Just recently they bought.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, CryptoPunk. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they own both of those collections, right? Okay. And the amount of money they have gained, because at one stage or until now, some of the NFTs are being used for crowdfunding.
Crowdfunding.
You have a project. You sell certain NFTs and crowdfunding, and then you will have perks.
Okay.
You can use that NFT in their application. You can get discounts. You can use their game, or they drop you some digital assets, or you can utilize those assets within a day, or you can stake it and earn some coins or rewards. There are so many applications for NFTs within the Web3 space. Okay, so whenever we're talking about that here, about BAYC, for example, when people are paying, let's say $500,000 to buy one BAYC, they are not buying the JPEG itself.
Okay.
Okay? They are buying the association with the Yoga Lab brand, with the BAYC brand. So I will tell you how powerful is that, because if you know how branding works and how brand works, you will know that it's complete a mental association.
Okay.
So if I own a BAYC, I'm part of the BAYC community.
Of course.
Okay?
Of course. Okay.
Some people on the web space, they only buy BAYC, add it as their avatar, as their PFP,
As their avatar
okay?
on Twitter.
And they get a lot of opportunities out of nowhere, only because they own one BAYC. And that's because that brand awareness, okay, and that brand reputation and that brand image is so strong within the Web3 space that only by owning that, you are in the most powerful NFT community, and that IP, okay, will give you so much value. Some people use their, because whenever, but like not all of the NFTs, but let's say most of the NFTs, they give you the IP. Like you own the IP of your collectibles.
Okay.
Like let's say, for example, I bought a BYC.
Okay.
I literally own the character, I
Okay.
own the IP itself. So some people use the BIYC and they create a restaurant out of it. Okay?
Okay, okay.
Some people use Azuki and created, Invisible Friends, and they create a coffee shop. Some people create merchandise. Some people, you know what I mean, right?
Yes, yes.
So the awareness of that brand, like just imagine, okay, that you own Apple. Apple will never allow you to own Apple, right? Or even to use their brand, and because they patent it,
Yes, yes.
right?
Yeah.
You cannot use black. You like Mickey Mouse. Can you tell? Okay, Mickey Mouse patent gonna end up next year, I think. But until now, no one can take Mickey Mouse and create a cartoon out of it, right?
Yes, yes.
You can't, because it's owned by Disney. Here, it's not like that. You own the IP. Okay? Then you literally, if you have if you go to the Azuki ecosystem, there are maybe 100 projects, community projects. It's not like a founder project. People who own Azuki have projects with Azuki IP. You're getting how powerful is that, right? And imagine like if Azuki or BAYC or Meebit or all of those projects reach to an awareness like Amazon or Apple or all of those big brands, right? You will find out how powerful this ownership is, how powerful this association is, and how powerful the community is. And we can see it in the Web3 space. We always can see how people are using it, what the power is it. And this is only one use case, because you just asked me what people are doing with the JPEGs, right? And this is only one use case. It's the IP, the power of the IP, and how they associate with themselves with that IP, and they leverage that. And because the people who have the AYC, they can go to other communities and they can get easy whitelists for other projects, with which they can earn, like let's say thousands of dollars only by getting the whitelist. I think you know how it works. Okay, so accessing other community by owning a BAYC is like a charm.
Okay, could you explain what do you mean by IP for?
Okay, IP is an intellectual property.
Okay.
So like you own that intellectual property. Okay, because you own that NFT. Of course, there are some. Some of the projects they add criteria that you don't own the IP of that NFT. Okay, but those projects doesn't do well.
What do you own? Do you own a link on an OpenSea website?
No, you can take the NFT, you can sell it, and just keep in mind. Until now, within this, like let's say for example, I transferred my book into a set of NFTs. Like let's say 2,000 NFTs,
Yes.
limited amount of NFTs. Okay, you can buy my book as an NFT. Okay?
Okay.
Right now, you don't have the right to buy my book or to sell it, right? The only the entities that can sell my book is me and Amazon, because I have agreement with Amazon, right? With NFTs, as soon as you buy my NFT, you can sell it. You can even sell it much more expensive than what you bought it. So you're getting my point. So you have that resale value. And don't forget that in the NFT itself, there are royalties. I don't know if you know about that or not.
Royalties in terms of what?
Okay, so let's say I'm a founder or creator or an artist, a founder of a game or project or whatever.
Okay. You mean if a person will sell it, will get...
Yeah,
will get a
the person who created it,
yes.
They can specify in the contract that royalties that they will get 5% for every sale.
Yes,
so it's like
exactly.
an infinite type of income for the owner.
Yeah.
And again, it's another layer of income for a person who owns it. It's a win-win situation. You know, you're getting my point.
But do you feel like, for example, for the monkeys JPEG, that one day if labs, something happened to them, yoga labs, or they got disconnected, or they failed, or they have lost their money, whatever, are we going to see those JPEGs become to zero, or they're going to be there, somebody else will manage the whole project?
It's a very nice question, because the economy, I'm not talking even about crypto, is based on demand and supply.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So one of the advantage which exists on the blockchain, it's like even if Yuga Lab got bankrupt, you still have that JPEG in your wallet.
Okay.
You get my point,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Okay, whether it goes to zero or it doesn't, I cannot guarantee that.
Yes.
But I don't know what's going to happen in the market. But I can tell you, out of experience, okay, that there are historic NFTs that has value even after their project has died. For example, Curio cards, okay? Those are the first NFTs being minted on Ethereum. Not exactly the first, but one of the first NFTs, which they contribute to the ERC-721. Like even before the ERC-721 was created. Okay. Those guys are the one who created the tech behind the, like if you go to the ERC-721, you will find out that they kind of mention Curio card. So it has a historic value. So people like to own those things. It's historic. People there are NFTs even minted. Actually, it's funny, but even minted on Bitcoin, and those worth a lot of money, a lot of money. So because it has historic value, CryptoPunk has historic value because it's the first 10,000 collection minted on Ethereum. You know what I mean, right? So it has historic value, and that's why even even if Yuga Lab didn't buy CryptoPunk, people used to pay tons of money for that. You get my point, right? And I think it was distributed even for free or a very small amount of money. So on the crypto space, as I said, it's a very early stage, and it keeps on improving with new techs, with new technology, with new case studies, with new use cases.
Because now for the last maybe 2 years or 3 years, we have seen the use cases of the NFTs only on the JPEGs. Almost.
No, this is the thing.
So could we
the average people have seen that.
Okay.
The average have seen that. But for me, for example, someone who uses like applications such as, let's say, Illuvium, games like Illuvium or Big Time or Field of Guardians or any other games exist on the blockchain, okay? Or even something like Blankos, which I'm using it since 2020, okay? It's not the case. Like people on the Web3 space, they know exactly what NFTs, not all of them, but there are a good portion of people on the Web3 space, they know what NFTs are and what they are used for and what is the potential of such technology in the future. I think
so
we can even
use what are other use cases that we can see in the future running as much as the JPEGs.
Okay, I mentioned some of them earlier. Okay, and as I said, there are some initiatives from some countries which I'm not going to mention. Okay, which they kind of be tokenizing their entire real estate. Okay, which as you said, it might, but I'm not going to mention which country or which thing. Okay, but there are some which they are thinking about doing that. There are houses sold on the blockchain on different chains as a tokenization, and there are something called fractionalization.
Fractionalization
Okay.
of an intellectual property? Or,
anything,
or-
like
or of a
anything.
property
Whether, like,
type?
for example, let's say you want to buy CryptoPunk,
Yes.
but you cannot afford it.
Yes.
Okay, so
yes,
you
can
fractionalize it,
fraction
and it's a group of people can join together and buy it, and that can happen with smart NFTs. Okay, and we have something called dynamic NFTs, and that I think we need to create another
Yes.
things over that. But
Another series.
yeah, but overall, okay, there are so many potential use cases, and new use cases gonna pop up by innovators. For example, I think, from my point of view, okay, we can use the entire blockchains and NFTs, okay, for what they call it, for the elections, you know?
Yes, elections. Okay.
Yeah, for the elections, because
Okay.
it's a complete public ledger.
Yes.
Okay, everyone can see what's going around. Okay, everyone has one vote. Okay, they can have one NFT. They can mint one vote over there, and they literally gonna make everything transparent. All of those issues about, oh, this is wrong, this is that, that, not gonna happen anymore. The problem here, okay, is not the technology. For me, the technology is amazing. It has a lot of use cases, a lot of potential. Okay, it's about how to govern those technologies to make it work into the real time, in the real time. For example, whether some governments attack the entire crypto space to bring it down, I think it's better to look at those technologies and add rules and regulations to find a solution and make it work. Because let's be frank, if you have something like Tesla or Amazon, right? Okay, if you have all of those entities attacking it, it would never been Apple or Amazon. It would have failed. It wasn't even established. Okay, but because the crypto space is international, okay, and it's decentralized, and everyone can have a vote, everyone can use, everyone can mine, everyone can contribute, everyone can add more apps, more technologies, more use cases on top of the ledger. That's the power of this blockchain environment, you know? This is the power that gives you the freedom of development, okay? Despite some of the, let's say, hurdle or some of the obstacles that you are facing within some countries or some environments.
Do you think it's about the complexity of using NFTs? Because if we go for the method of voting, for example, and you got most of the voters are, for example, baby boomers or guys from the 70s or from the 80s, and they are not familiar of using NFT. And to be honest, at first it's not that simple. It will take time to get adjusted to use the wallet, and then you sign on the NFTs, and then you can see your NFT in the wallet. So I think the complexity might hurdle this. If we can use NFTs for another methods, like what you said, for elections, or you can keep real estate in a blockchain or something like that.
This is a very nice question, because every technology that pops in, okay, it's not actually, it has its own complexity. Okay, like for example, actually there are portion of people even right now, they don't know how to use the internet. Even statistics are there.
Yes,
okay, so again, we were talking about the same thing. But there are solutions. Like, this is the problem. You are giving me, okay, some argument. You are giving me some pain points, okay, and those pain points should be covered, right? So I need to provide a solution. If we work this way, we can always improve. Okay, so right now there are so many ways of tackling this. Like, there are platforms that providing custodial wallets, you know.
Yes.
Which I don't know if people knows what difference between custodial and custodial.
Yes.
If you explained them before.
Yes,
okay, so they provide custodial wallets that you only just have to log in with your details, and you purchase everything, and it was in custodial wallets, and then you will have a little bit more knowledge of how to create a MetaMask or another wallet and import it into your wallet, and that's it. So again, there are always solutions for any problem if you are willing to give it a try and give it time and effort to find, like a solution for that pain point. But again, if you're gonna complain about the entire space without knowing anything about it, without knowing what's going around, without knowing what kind of technology exists, and you're only gonna say, oh, this is scam, this is only JPEG, blah, 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 and you don't even know what's going on in the space, okay? This is not the right argument to even discuss in the first place, because I'm talking with someone, or I'm discussing that with someone who doesn't know what's going on, okay? Like if I don't know what an electric car is, okay, I cannot go and argue whether electric cars is better than a fuel cell car, right? So I cannot, because I don't know how the technology works, okay? I'm not the person to give you the response, because that's not my specialty, okay? Again, if you want to know, at least you have a basic understanding
of the technology, and then you can go ahead.
I'm not saying you need to know everything. You need a basic understanding, like you know how to create a wallet, you know what key phrases are, how to send coins, how to use, let's say, CoinGecko, at least, you know, to know what are the coins, what is the market cap, what is supply, and all of that. And you can at least, if you want to invest in certain project, what that project does, how it will benefit, how it will add value, and all of that, and then invest in it. You cannot go and invest in something that you don't know what it is, and you say, oh, that went to zero, I lost all of my money, okay? It's your problem, okay? Correct. Everything needs, it's a rule number one in crypto.
You need to educate yourself.
Yeah, rule number one in crypto, what is it? Invest.
You don't talk about crypto. Rule number two.
That's a good one. Yeah, actually, the rule number one in crypto is invest whatever you can lose. Okay. So
some people might argue, they will say you don't have value for money because any small amount of money, it has value. You know what I mean? They might say that people, if you want to invest on money that it's okay to lose. However, you are treating money as something with no value. Because as little as it is, it might have value for other people.
Yeah, but it depends what you consider as value. Value is subjective term, right? Like value is classified into functional values, social values, psychological values, right? And even financial values. So it depends what you consider as value. And this is what I was referring to as a demand and supply, okay? People who buy a JPEG, a monkey JPEG, like a BAYC, and they like to present themselves as an owner of a BAYC, okay? They are paying for the statue. You get my point? It's exactly like people who are paying for Ferrari, okay? So it's more like I'm not gonna say show off, but it's a materialization, okay, of the brand that they are zooming with, okay? And from the other side...
So what's the difference, Ahmed? Sorry to cut you off. What's the difference if I click on the picture, a screenshot, and put it on my name?
Perfect. Yeah, a perfect question. Okay. So as we said, okay, when you buy an NFT, you will
have the IP. You will have the IP.
Not only that. The IP is only like if it's an image or whatever. Okay. So you have a certification of ownership of that entity. Okay. So let's say you have a BAYC. Okay. You can snapshot it and use it and blah blah whatever. Okay. But do you own the NFT? You don't, right? Okay. So if an event happens, because everything is a smart contract, right? If an event happens and the events, it's only for BAYC or except BAYC holders, okay? So you need to have that token in your wallet, so you will be eligible.
Okay, for the whatever event or
no, not event, any type of utility.
Or whatever
any type of utility. Any type of utility exists.
Okay.
For example, now you can use your BAYC into the metaverse that Eurolab created.
Yes.
You have to have a BAYC.
Yes.
So if you have that image, what are you going to do with it? Nothing.
Exactly.
You have to have the token, the ownership of the token, so you can access the metaverse. You can use it. You can even gain more NFTs and sell those NFTs. You get my point, right? So this is the point that people need to understand the tech behind the things. And that's why, like,
it's not about taking pictures or, screenshot your.
No, because you are like the IP. Whenever we talk about the IP, you literally own that picture.
That picture.
I'm talking about BYC. You literally own that picture, and you literally own that art.
So
you can, as I told you, people use it for creating restaurants. People use it for creating events, a lot of things. So the awareness of that adds tremendous value.